Hey there, Prairie Plant Girl here. It is, what is it? It's May 23rd today, and I am right around that average last frost date here for Saskatchewan, Canada, in my southern region. And I'm going to plant my tomatoes out. Now, as anyone who follows my channel knows, or anyone that lives in this general area knows, we've had a really crazy weather-wise kind of spring around here. And so I still kind of feel like this is a bit of a risk. So I'm going to be taking some extra precautions that I normally wouldn't take this late in the year with my tomatoes, but I feel like this year might warrant that. And I'll bring you along for that. You can see right there, if you know what that is. But I've gone through my trays of tomatoes that I started in my house back in March, I think it was. And some of them are looking pretty rough, like really rough. They've been in my greenhouse. This one even might be broken. And some of them like tiny like that to behemoth crazy things like this. I've just kind of left them in their trays. They were really packed in there, and honestly I haven't really moved them around and alternated where they're getting the light from. So I think that's why we have some that are so small and some that are so big. Also varieties. So I don't even remember how many varieties. I don't remember how many varieties I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 11 varieties of tomatoes, and I think I counted about 23 plants that I'm going to be putting in, and that's in an 8 by 4 foot bed. So pretty closely spaced. It's how I always grow them. Most of them are staking varieties, so I'll put them up a tall stake and keep them pretty trimmed back, and that helps to be able to keep them in tight quarters. And I have an urban garden. I'm lucky to have a fairly large one, but I still like to keep things pretty tight and grow a lot of things. I'm going to grow some cherry tomatoes up along this back trellis. I'm not sure if that's going to be a wise idea or not. The tomatoes in front of it might get in the way of me actually picking the cherries, but I wanted to try that and see how it works out for me. And that way I can keep them really close to the back of the bed. And then I'll have staking tomatoes in front and my staking tomatoes towards the back and my more bush tomatoes towards the front. And that's my plan going into this. I've already taken off mulch. I have a big bucket here of like leaves, shredded leaves that I put on in the fall just to help kind of protect the soil from the heavy snow packing it in and that. And just think it's nice. It adds a little bit of nutrients as they start to break down. Gives, insects somewhere to live. I mean, beneficial and problem insects, but gives them somewhere to live over the winter. But I did want to pull it off and get my soil warming up. I should have done this a few days ago, but I didn't. So today was the day. So right now I've had a thermometer in pretty deep so that when I plant my tomatoes, it's in deep enough. And it's about 14 degrees in there, down that low. It's warmer higher up. You don't want the temperature of the soil to be too cold, or you can shock the tomatoes going into that cold soil. I think 15 should be okay. I would like it more around 20, but it is what it is. I think they'll still be all right like that. I'm going to add some sheep manure on top of this, and I'm going to get most of the tomatoes in the ground, and then I'll bring you back when I'm just have a few left, and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing here. But I just thought I'd share with you what I'm doing today. I'm going to try and get this job done and show you, if you haven't planted tomatoes before or you want to see how I do it, I'll show you kind of when I'm getting close to the end. So I'll bring you back in a little bit. Okay, so I have most of the tomatoes done, and you can see I have some cozy coats around several of them on that side, but I just have the center row staked, and then I'll be putting cozy coats on this side as well. So I'm going to show you one staking and one, like this is an indeterminate, so it needs to be staked and kind of pruned up more, and it'll just keep producing tomatoes. Once it starts to set fruit, it'll just keep setting fruit till either disease or cold weather finishes the plant off. And this is a determinate. It's more of a bush tomato, so it tends to kind of set all of its fruit in around the same short period of time, and then the plant will die off. So that's the two different kinds. So these you don't have to stake, you can, but a cage or like a teepee system of stakes works better because you don't need to do as much pruning on these, just let them bush out and get full. And they tend to like more space, though I somehow wound up kind of ramming mine in a little bit close together here. But it'll be fine because I'll just have to keep it on them, and I might have to prune them back a bit, but they'll be all right. But I'm going to just show you, they basically are planted the same. It's just how you kind of cage them or stake them that's a little bit different. So this one's in the sun. It's going to be a little harder to see, but this is a Japanese black trifeli, and I'm just going to dig a nice deep hole. Again, you don't want to get so deep that the soil is cold. Remember, I had my thermometer out and checked that it was 15 degrees, which is a little bit cool, but about as warm as I'll tend to get around here, down deep. So you could also do a trench and just lay the stem out this way and then bend it up to keep in the warm soil. Take it out of the package, put it down. Now if it has leaves that are going to be touching down on the soil, you're going to pull those stems off, and then you just cover it in around. So this stem down here is going to be really hanging down to the soil. I'm just going to pinch it off so that it's not touching the soil, which makes it more prone to disease. And I'm just going to grab a stake and put it in a few inches away from the plant. Push it down quite deep. And then you want to tie it to the stake. So you just want to put it, like if this is the stem of the tomato, this is your tomato and this is your stake, you put it around your tomato, cross it. That kind of gives the tomato room to move around without rubbing just on the stake, and then go around the stake. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. So I'm going to go around the tomato, cross my tie over, and then take it to the stake and tie it off. That's like that. And put my tag in so I know what it is. And then again, a nice deep hole. And I'm putting a little bit of this fertilizer in. When I'm fertilizing tomatoes and peppers, I always like to find something that has calcium in it. It's very good for the plants, helps to prevent blossom end rot, and I use that all the way through when I'm planting these plants. Right from the first time they get fertilizer, they get a little bit of that in the soil too, after their initial starter fertilizer of half strength. Once they get bumped up into a bigger pot, they'll get this. So then that's down there. This one didn't have any stems that were going to be hanging down to the ground, so just leave it like that. And then if you're caging your tomatoes, you want to find a heavy-duty cage, a good quality one. There's some really thin, flimsy tomato cages out there. They just won't hold up to tomatoes, I find. And then, I don't know if you saw that, I pulled the bottom apart a little bit, tried to make it wider to give it more stability so that the plant doesn't wind up knocking the cage over. Now you could also just take 3 stakes in the ground and tie them together at the top, and that will work as well. So this won't help it right now to support it for wind protection. So if they need to be hardened off, like my plants are pretty flimsy, they were in the greenhouse until today. You could wrap like some newspaper or something around here just to give them just that little bit more protection. Okay, so now I mentioned the cozy coats. So all this is just this plastic kind of sleeve that goes around your plant, and it has different sections in it all the way around, all these little tubes, and you just fill it with water. So I just slip it over the stake, and then you can just fill each of these tubes with water, and that just helps regulate the temperatures around the plants. It'll help protect from the wind, but it'll also help on cool nights or even really, really hot days. It just kind of keeps the temperature nice and normal inside there with that water surrounding it. Now I find just doing the outer rows is enough, and the inside row is usually fine. I mean, if we had like snow or hail, it might take the center row down if it got in there, but the cold nights, they're usually very well protected in there. I've had hail when my tomatoes were planted out that like smashed everything else to the ground, but my tomatoes were inside and they kind of wind up closing in as they fill with water. Completely protected them. The plants were totally fine inside. So, and the hail like piled up that year. So they are a good thing. I don't use them every year. Once they're over these posts and full of water, it's really difficult then to get them back off when you want to remove them. So you can roll them down to about halfway if you want to open the plants up and get in there to keep some airflow and keep disease from happening, or maybe even pull the stake and get someone to help you and pull this off. It can get to be kind of a wet, gross thing, and these can get a little scummy inside. So I don't use them every year, but I just find that this spring has been really unpredictable for the temperatures. Even when it looks like it's going to be good, then all of a sudden we'll get some really cold weather. So I just thought I would put them on this year just to give a little extra protection. And especially from the wind, it'll really help with that direction. But I'm going to put them on these down here. I don't know if I'll get them over. I don't think I'll be able to get them over the cages. So I'll probably just wrap the cages in some newspaper if we have a windy day. It's pretty nice today. And I have an umbrella up, which should shade most of these plants down at that end where the cages are for the rest of the day. So I think that's what I'll do to just kind of give them a little break as they're getting used to being out here. But I'll do the cozy coats on these other plants. And that's what we'll do. So when you fill these, and this isn't sponsored or anything, I've just been using them off and on for years. I find it's easiest to just fill a couple of tubes and then move down a few tubes. And I didn't fill it all the way, I just kind of got them started. Fill a couple more. And again, I like to keep my hose strung out on a sunny day if I can, just so if you're spilling water all over the plant, it's not ice cold out of the tap. So I moved down a few more, filled up a few more tubes. It just helps it from just falling over completely. You do need to put some sort of stake in, because if they do get knocked over by the wind, they'll smash your plants. So even if you just put a short stake in, just something to kind of keep it from smashing your plant straight down. And then once you have a little start in several places, then you can just go around and fill them all up. And they start to support each other after you get several going here. It's a bit of a trick till you get enough going, and then it's all kind of comes together. One more thing to mention again, I'm not sponsored, I get nothing out of showing you these cozy coats, but if you do use them and you have a hole in one of them, you can buy little sleeves to put down the sections, but they still, I find, will work well if you have just one or two sleeves with holes in them. As long as they're not right beside each other, they'll still stand up. So you can use them for years, even if they get a little hole in them. And I've often thought, though I've never tried it, is those really long jumbo freezies. I think the sleeves from those would actually fit in these and do that job of you could just use it to put down a sleeve in a cozy coat that has a hole in it. So the last thing I'm going to do is just use a little dose of the starter fertilizer. I'm just going to mix it into my watering can and water each of these plants with it and give them each a good drink. They've been sitting out here. I've been interrupted several times through this process, and the sun was shining pretty hard on those plants. And like I said, they were in the greenhouse till I pulled them out this morning. So they're feeling a little rough right now. So they'll appreciate a good drink. I'm going to use the water in my rain barrel so it's not ice cold, and a little starter fertilizer, and give them just a good drink. And the starter fertilizer has a high phosphorus number in it, which helps with that root development to get them really settled down in the soil. So that's the last thing I'm going to be doing to get these tomatoes settled into their new homes. Thanks for coming along with me, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. I realized I never told you what varieties I was growing. So on the trellis, I have Sun Gold and Super Sweet 100. Right here's Thornbury's Terracotta. I have 2 of those. I have 2 Black Vernissage. Where's the tag for this one? Nope. 1 Black Vernissage, 2 Black Crim, 3 Manitoba across the front, and then down the middle I have 1 Roma, 2 Amish Paste, and 2 San Marzano. And then at the back here I have 2 of the Radiator Charlie's Mortgage Lifter, and then I believe 2 Japanese Black Trifeli, and then 2 Mamma Mia. These are also a paste, but they're a bush paste. The Roma is also a bush paste. So my determinates or bush plants are the Manitobas, the Mamma Mias, and the Romas, and all the rest are staking indeterminate plants.